hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome to the Home Repairs and Solutions Show, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your authorized Amana dealer. The hosts for Home Repairs and Solutions are Mary Pearson and Mark Withers. Now here's Mary and Mark.
Good morning.
Good to see you, Mr. Mark.
Good to see you, Mary.
Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know if this was going to be a Mark and Mary show or a Mark show. I didn't know what was going to happen today for sure with the weather and everything. But we both slid in here, so
we did.
We're good to go. And we didn't have a guest scheduled today, so we didn't have to risk anybody else's life to get here.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. It's of course, my pickup is just a two-wheel drive, but I actually had pretty good luck getting here this morning. If a person just takes it nice and slow, and you get around pretty good. I mean, it is nasty, and
it is nasty,
and it's cold. If you don't have to be out, don't.
Yeah, no kidding.
But some of us have to work, and
Yeah.
So.
And if you have a live radio show, well, someone live's got to be
Someone live's got to be there. That's right.
That's for sure. But I did kind of plan ahead because I stayed at my daughter's. I stayed in town. I didn't go home. So I didn't want to have to try and risk a 50-mile drive this morning to try and get here. So I did like a 3-mile drive to get here.
Well,
so
that's
it wasn't
good.
bad.
No,
It wasn't bad.
No. Well, I'm glad because my mom would have worried to death because she always asked when we was up there this past Sunday, and she's like, "Now, does Mary drive back and forth?" Well, that's an awful long way. I just hate for her to be on the road, Mom's worried about you, so.
Well, thanks, Mom. I appreciate it. Actually, I got quite a few texts from some of my real good friends today saying, "I hope you stayed in town. Are you driving?" Da, da, da. So, I have a lot of people that check in on me, which is very nice. But I try to use common sense, and I try to kind of plan ahead when they predict this kind of mess. So, and I did. And fortunately, my daughter lives in town, and my son lives in Ozark, and I have lots of friends who live in town that have offered me a place to stay if I need to. So
That's great.
Hopefully, I can get back home today. Though I'd like to be home.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we'll see.
I don't blame
I'm
you
going to call it.
whatsoever.
I'm going to call some of the neighbors and see if I can even get there before I head that way, though.
Yeah, it'd be a good idea because I think down your direction they got probably a little bit more ice.
They got more
and
ice.
stuff.
Yeah, they sure did. So, but maybe there'll be enough traffic, or they'll get enough ice or whatever it is they put on the roads these days, and I can get there later. I'm going to have to get there before dark, though, or I'm staying in town. I'm not going to try and navigate all that in the dark.
Don't blame you.
So
I wouldn't either.
I'm just going to play it by ear today. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
The thing about it is I can be safe and warm in town or out of town, so it's all good.
But it's always nice to be at your own place.
It is. It is. I was
but-
thinking if I was home, I could watch a movie and build a fire.
Well, yeah.
Drink some hot chocolate, or, But
Yeah.
that's all right.
Yep, for sure. So,
Yep.
Hey, we want to send out, if you have or know of a hometown lumberyard, hardware store, and when we say hometown, we're not talking just in Springfield, but anywhere where this program reaches, and you have snow shovels, ice melt, and all those things, and you would like to get the word out, call us and let us know. And let us know where you are so we can get the word out to the folks. And this is for the hometown stores, the local-owned businesses and stuff. And we want to, we always try to promote, local businesses. And I think this is a good way we can do it this morning, being the weather the way it is. So,
Absolutely. Well, the big box stores sell out really quickly,
They do.
typically. So if you're looking for these items, that would be great. If you have them, if you're a local business, we'd love to send people to you, and it'll help you and help them, and it'd be great.
That's right. So give us a call, 862-9977, 1-800-375-0056. If you have a Verizon wireless phone, you can just do star 56, or you can send us a text at 417-838-3192, and we will tell the folks on the air where they can pick up those much needed supplies today.
That's right. If you didn't get out and get them ahead of time, and some people can, but not everyone was able to do that. So if you need them today and if it's safe to get out and do so, then that would probably be not a bad thing to do. I don't think we're done with the snow.
I don't think we are either, especially sitting here looking out the window right now.
Yeah.
It's coming down pretty good here.
It is still accumulating. And I don't know, have you ever seen, that reminded me of something. Have you ever seen a white woolly worm?
I don't think I ever have.
We had a salesman come into the office a couple weeks ago or so and said that he had a client, I think down in the Seymour area or something. But apparently a lady had found one, took a picture of it, and then did some investigation on it because she hadn't seen one before. And it was solid white. And for you listeners out there who are curious, you can do this as well. But we Googled it in the office because rumor has it that if you ever see a white woolly worm, and they're very, very rare, you're in for a very cold white winter.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I hadn't heard that before. You hear about persimmons and other things, but that's the first time I'd heard the white woolly worm thing. Well, if you Google it, that's what it says.
Wow.
So we might be in for a fun
We
white
might be.
winter. Don't know.
We might be. What we're experiencing right now is kind of out of the norm from what we've had the last few years. Used to when I was a kid growing up, well, golly, I've heard my mom tell this story several times when they brought me home from the hospital after I was born on Halloween. It was snowing that year because she always talks about passing out candy and
in the snow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and
well, that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, it'd be a little different. So our winters used to seem like they started earlier, and so what we're experiencing right now is a little unusual, maybe for some of us to be this early. But hey, it is wintertime.
Yeah, it is. And as when we were growing up, because I was born and raised in Mansfield, and I can remember earlier in the year too, where we'd have snow and we'd be outside on riding our little motorcycles around in the snow and the cold and all that. And finally, my mom would make us come in because we were just froze solid. Yeah. But as a kid, you can tough this out a little better.
Yeah, how come it was so much fun to be out freezing to death back then, but it's not now?
And she'd make us come in. We could barely, we couldn't get our gloves off because our hands were so cold, and our motorcycles had ice on them, and we were just, but we thought that was fun. We didn't go sledding. We went motorcycle riding in the snow. But
yeah, it'd be fun.
Yeah, it was. It was fun. Of course, we weren't out in any traffic or anything. I wouldn't suggest doing that. But
no, I don't think I would either.
That probably wouldn't be too cool. But.
No.
And the flip side of that was we always had to clean up our own bikes. So, that took hours to clean them up. They were just nasty after that. But that was part of the deal. If we had motorcycles, we had to learn to take care of them and clean them up and change the spark plugs and all kinds of. We learned lots of things doing that. But we didn't have video games.
Well,
we did other things.
Yeah, back when I was growing up, we didn't have the computer games and all that, and we was lucky if we had a TV, and we always did. For me growing up, I remember, having a black and white TV.
I do too.
And but we went out and played. We went out and did stuff, and
and the cold didn't seem to bother us at all. We couldn't wait to get outside and play. If it was a snow day and school was out, woohoo! Oh yeah, we had a good time.
Yeah,
and we built snowmen and we went sledding as well. But and then when we were in Arkansas, when we lived there, I remember Paul hooking up the sled behind the four-wheeler and pulling the sled behind the four-wheeler, and that was fun.
Oh yeah.
So there's lots of fun things you can do in the snow.
Absolutely.
If you can stand the cold.
But one of the fun things I like to do right now in the snow is build a big fire in the fireplace and sit inside.
And watch it snow.
Out the
window.
Out the window. That's true. So, well, you did a little research on some things.
I did.
This past week.
I did.
Some interesting facts here.
I did. We get quite a bit of information, and we're always doing lots of research with in our industry and different things that are going on, and we like to keep our clients informed and as well as our radio listeners. And one of the things that we found out that's not necessarily happy news, but we get a publication called The News, and it's for heating and air conditioning contractors. And they put one out and it says winter heating bills set to increase, natural gas costs expected to rise 13%, propane to jump 9%.
Wow.
And this is nationwide, so that doesn't mean it's going to do that in everybody's locale to that extent, but it also states on here that 90% of the houses in the U.S. this winter will get substantially higher heating bills this winter. And one of the things it says when compared to last winter, and the people who put this out is the U.S. Energy Information Administration, and it says when compared to last winter, they project natural gas heating costs to rise 13%. If the average temperature, or if the temperature averages 10% colder than normal, I think we might be there.
Yeah.
Then those costs could actually increase as much as 25%.
Really?
Because not only
Wow.
are you going to be using your system more and longer, you're going to be paying higher prices for it. So all of that is going to be an increase that's, not going to make very many people too happy, including
yeah.
me, because, I have to pay utilities like everybody else.
Oh, yeah.
And then back in October, and I remember hearing this, I think I only heard about it once. I don't think they made a big deal out of this, but, Springfield City Council approved rate hikes for city utilities over the next 3 years.
Right.
Starting next October. And by the time we get at the end of those 3 years, I think it's going to be almost 15% increase total.
Wow.
Which is pretty substantial. So one of the things that we did, and that is why we brought in the smart chip. And I've talked about it a little bit before, but we knew that there was some rate increases and things going on. The other thing they talked about in this article is the coal industry. They're trying to kind of shut down some of the coal industry and that, which is going to increase utilities. So I don't know about you, but I don't think I'm going to get a 15% pay raise over the next 3 years. So I'm pretty sure I'm not.
That. No.
And I don't know too many people who will. So that's just one of the items that, we're going to see increased costs on. So this smart chip that we brought in, that I've talked about, we've had several clients put that on, and that helps reduce the cost of your furnace usage and your air conditioner this summer as well. And depending on your system and how often you run it and the weather, and there's so many factors involved, but it can save you anywhere from 12 up to maybe 20 some percent, depending on what's going on. And so we had a meeting at the office the other day, and we're thinking, okay, what can we do? This time of year is tough. You have Christmas, you have property taxes, you have a lot of stuff going on, out of pocket expense. And what we find sometimes is it can be difficult if their furnace goes out. It's kind of tough to be able to replace it right now. Not everyone has the money available. So that's where we have our smart plan, or our Smile plan. We've had that for years. That's a great program. A lot of people use that. That's where you can put half down and make regular payments over the next 6 months at no interest. And so what we're going to do for those folks who end up needing a furnace for whatever reason between now and January, some of these older furnaces are going to get ran pretty hard right now.
Right.
If they're already weak and have bad spots, or if it's old, then, it's the likelihood of it breaking down is going to be pretty high. So for any of our listeners out there, any of our existing clients, if you need to purchase a furnace between now and the end of January, then we are going to include this smart chip at no extra cost.
Wow.
So most of our gas furnaces now are 96% efficient. If you have anything that's 10 years old or older and you put in a 96% efficient furnace, you're going to see a substantial difference in your utilities. And then we'll put the smart chip on, and that'll be even a added savings there. So that's just kind of a way for us to try and assist people that maybe will run into problems. There's going to be problems. I mean, we're already getting phone calls where people with older furnaces are already starting to see if the heat exchanger is weak and you're running it a lot, you're going to see it start to crack. You're going to see all kinds of things start happening to some of these older furnaces. So it's just something that we always try and think ahead and try and kind of see what might be coming down the road and how we can help our clients out with situations that we see might come up in the near future. So that's one of the things that we're going to do. We do give free estimates. So if you're having trouble with your furnace or you do have an issue, if you're not sure that it's working properly, then you can give us a call. We'll come out and service it or fix it. Now, sometimes we can't. If it's got a cracked heat exchanger or if there's an issue with it or if it's rusted out, at that point, you're way money ahead to replace it. And then we can give you exact cost of what it would take to replace it. You can talk to us about the Smile Plan if that's what you want to do. We get lots of questions. You know, do we take credit cards? Yes. We take MasterCard. We take Visa. We can take debit cards. We can do bank transfers. I have some people that don't want to use their credit card, and so
Sure.
we can do automatic bank transfers. There's lots of ways that we can try and help people that might run into a heating situation this year. And then something new that we've thought about for a while, we've looked into it. It was mentioned to us at a meeting we went to a couple years ago, and we didn't implement it then, but we have implemented it now. It's new, I believe, to this area. But we are going to, or we have available a layaway plan. So if you know that you're going to need an air conditioner next spring, you already know that your air conditioner didn't make it and you're going to have to replace it, you can give us a call. We can come and give you what it would cost to replace it.
Right.
At today's pricing, you can do a layaway plan with us and make small monthly payments. And then at the time you get that paid up, we can install that. And so some people are like, well, why would I do that now? Well, number one, you get today's pricing. Every year, every spring, our prices increase on air conditioners. It has
Right.
every year.
Sure.
That's just the nature of the beast. Same way in the fall. A lot of times the cost of furnaces, we have a slight increase in furnace costs. So if you know that you've got that coming down the road and you want to do a layaway plan, it's at no interest, just like our Smile Plan. It's the payments are just a small percentage of what your total amount's going to be. And we can talk to people who might be interested in doing that. We do have some people who are interested in doing that because they know they've got tax refunds coming.
Sure,
So they
yeah.
can go ahead and get the price locked in today, sign the layaway agreement, and they're guaranteed that price. And then we have people that when they get their tax return, they can either pay a lump sum down, they can pay off the balance, whatever they want to do, but they are guaranteed today's price.
Right.
And, you know, money today is going to go farther than money tomorrow.
absolutely.
It always does.
Great
So
point.
if it's something that you're looking at that you think might be an issue for you in the future, you want to talk to us about it, you want some more information, we'd be happy to visit with you. Our number at Spring Mountain Air is 831-4036. So
So you
that's
can help
what I
folks
have
save
today.
a little bit of money. Yes,
absolutely. And we do everything at no interest. Just because it gets real complicated if you start charging interest, and
Sure.
it just gets to be a mess, and then you know, and it can be. We just like to make things as simple as we can for our clients. We also don't give them guesstimates of what it will cost. We'll give you an exact. It will be X amount of dollars, and that's what it's going to be.
That's great.
So, you know, sometimes we run into, you know, little minor install issues or something that we might have to do something a little extra, and that's just part of the way it is.
Sure.
You know, so if we give you the price is the price.
That's wonderful. Helps people out, helps them save money right off the bat.
It does. It does. And I know that we talk to people. It's really funny because I remember we had a neighbor we lived in Nixa for several years, and I remember talking to her one day, and it just kind of struck me funny, and I don't know why I remembered it, but she said, we are really, really good at making payments. We are terrible at saving money.
You know, there's a lot of people like that.
And there are a lot of people like that. And, you know,
Yeah.
and sometimes it is hard to save money because you think, well, I can get this today and then, you know, I can save this money next, you know.
Yeah.
And I was even talking to my son about that. And he goes, well, Mom, he goes, that's kind of where I am too. He said, I should be saving money. But he said, I just don't, you know, because if you have it in your pocket and you see something and oh, I could get this for so-and-so, or I could use this or do that. You know, it's just, that's just the way.
That's just
the nature of the beast, I think.
It absolutely is.
So if you can make a small payment at no interest, you know, and our plan is anywhere from 4 to 9 months, of course, depending on the amount and your payment amount and all that. So it's just a nice little way to ensure that you can lock in today's prices and be ready to go next spring or summer, whatever.
I think that's
You
wonderful.
can do it for an air conditioner, you can do it for a furnace, you can do it for the entire system, whatever it is you think you need or want
There
to
you
do.
go. So you know, there's no reason if you know it's coming up and you're going to have it. There's no reason why not to go ahead and get the process started right now. Lock in that price, and it's kind of a pay it forward type deal. You pay
Kind
for
of.
it, and you know,
Kind of
so,
is.
Yeah,
And I kind of like to do that. I'm one of those people that when we went on vacation or anything, I never wanted to go and use a credit card and pay for it after the fact.
yeah,
I always wanted to have it paid for. So then, and it's just a psychological thing, kind of. But it's like it's already paid for, so it was almost felt like it was free.
it's free. I know it.
It's not free, but it was nice to know. Like when we would go
Yeah.
on cruises or something, we would prepay for all of that.
Yeah.
By the time we got ready to go, everything was paid for,
Uh-huh.
and then we didn't have to worry about.
Yeah, getting
You
that
know,
credit card bill next
Sure.
month, and
It's not fun to pay for something after you've had fun.
Yeah,
After then it's like, oh gosh, I'm going to
Yeah.
pay for this for 6 months. That's
Yeah.
not fun.
no,
It was always easier for me to prepay, but
Yep,
so.
I agree.
There you go. And I thought of something that I haven't mentioned about this chip. We've had this question come up, this smart chip I'm talking about. I've had people say, can you can you take that off an existing furnace and put it on another one? Say, for instance, you have an older furnace and we put it on there and then your heat exchanger cracks or whatever 2 or 3 years down the road and you've got to replace the furnace. Well, there's a 5-year warranty on that smart chip. The answer to that question is absolutely yes. We can take it off of the damaged furnace or the old one, put your new furnace in, and put that same
Put that
chip,
same
back,
chip
on.
back on.
And I had people ask me about that have rental property.
Uh-huh.
Renters have to pay the utility bills.
Sure. Yeah.
And so I had someone ask me the other day if a renter decided to have this put on their furnace and they move, can they take the chip with them to the next house? And the answer to that is yes. If you pay for that chip, that's yours. And you can absolutely take it and put it on the furnace wherever you move to. So there you go.
Yeah.
There you go. It's something that you can buy that stays with you, that's easy to move, and you can keep getting the utility savings no matter where you live. So,
What a great idea.
yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, I've been told I'm full of it, so.
Full of great ideas. Not full of the other stuff. Full of
Okay,
great ideas.
okay. Well, thank you for that, Mark.
That's right. So I heard a little bit of music there.
I did too. I think he's trying to tell us we got to take a break.
I think Gary is telling us, hey, y'all need to shut up. So, this Home Repairs and Solutions. We'll be back in a few minutes right after this. Now, if you've got a problem and you don't know what to do, your siding's going bad and you're plagued with green mildew. Well, your faucets, they all drip and your sinks are all clogged up too. Well, there's no need to worry. I'll tell you what you can do. Just call Home Repairs and Solutions. Home Repairs and Solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house. They'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home Repairs and Solutions.
Here's news on the Ozarks News Network. Springfield police have arrested a gunman who held up a Northside convenience store today. A 19-year-old suspect walked into the Come and Go at Division and Packer, showed a weapon, and escaped with cash. Officers say he was arrested a short time later in a nearby mobile home park. Springfield police have gone on emergency status for minor traffic accidents. Citizens are asked to walk into police headquarters and report accidents if all vehicles are operable. There are no injuries and no alcohol or drug-impaired driver is involved. And a Springfield man has been charged with 15 felony counts involving sex with 2 family members, ages 3 and 5. 33-year-old Ronald Mazza allegedly took photos of himself engaging in sex acts with the children and shared the images with others over the internet. Mazza is currently in the Greene County Jail on a $250,000 bond. For the Ozarks News Network, I'm Arlen Summers.
And join us for America's First News, Monday through Saturday at 6:05 a.m. on the Wall Street Journal This Morning on AM 560 KWTO.
As Metro Appliances and More begins our 40th year in business, we sincerely thank you for trusting us with your appliance and lighting needs through the years. From everyone at Metro Appliances and More, we wish you a very Merry Christmas and a prosperous New Year.
I'm Dr. Norma Shealy. Join me here on Thursday, December 12th at 2 p.m. to talk about health for the rest of the year, the winter, and the rest of your life. 2 p.m., December 12th, KWTO.
KTXR, the Village Inn, and the Salvation Army invite you to have breakfast with Santa and me, Wayne Glenn, this Saturday, December 7th, from 6 a.m. until 1 p.m. at the Village Inn, 2036 South Glenstone. Get in the spirit of the season at our annual Salvation Army Toy Town Breakfast and bring a toy or give a monetary donation, and your breakfast is on the folks at Village Inn. This year's Salvation Army Toy Town Breakfast is made possible by these sponsors: Lakeland Behavioral Health, Piano Craft Everything Music, Ken Teague, Farmers Insurance, and Redeemed Music and Books. Help make Christmas possible for children in the Ozarks this Saturday, 6 a.m. until 1 at the Village Inn on South Glenstone.
Join us for Through the Grapevine on KWTO AM 560. Great guests talking about food and wine. Now everyone joins us after work on Thursday at 5 p.m. Remember, it's every Thursday at 5 p.m. Join us for Through the Grapevine on KWTO AM 560. Just be there, Thursdays, 5 p.m. Through the Grapevine.
Morning snow tapering off. We could even see some sun late in the day. An additional inch or two of accumulation expected. Breezy and cold with a high just 20. Then cold tonight. Brisk with partly cloudy skies and a low 2. Then a mostly cloudy and cold day tomorrow, high 22. Cold again Sunday with a little snow at times. Up to an inch of fresh accumulation, high of 27. I'm AccuWeather's Kevin Snyder.
It's 18 degrees at AM 560 KWTO.
Well, I went down to the hardware store to see my old friend Bob. I said my roof it leaks, my rug's a mess, and my front door needs a new knob. I got squirrels in my attic, I got bats in my head. Well, Bob just leaned over the counter and he shook his head and said, "You need home repairs and solutions. Home repairs and solutions. They'll fix your windows, they'll fix your house, they'll even tell you how to get rid of a mouse. Home repairs and solutions."
And welcome back to Home Repairs and Solutions, brought to you by Spring Mountain Air, your authorized Amana dealer. If you'd like to be part of the program, if you have a question, if you have a comment, call 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. Or if you happen to be a Verizon customer, star 56. Or if you'd like to text,
You can do that at 417-838-3192, and we'd love to hear from you.
We would. We're just
Yes.
sitting here chatting today. We'd like to have someone else to talk to besides each
Well,
other.
yeah, that's for sure. And once again, if you're a local business owner, and not only in Springfield, but all the surrounding area, anywhere where this program is heard, and you have snow shovels, ice melt, all that kind of stuff that's really needed, flashlights, batteries, and you want to let the folks know about it, give us a call, and we'll let you tell where you are and all that
Absolutely.
information on the
Absolutely.
air, or text it to us, either
Sure.
one.
Absolutely. We'd be glad to get that
Yep.
information out to our listeners. So.
Absolutely. You know, I remember back my first real job years ago was at Walmart when I was in high school. I worked for Walmart in Marshfield all my junior and senior year. And so this would have been in the late 70s. I remember we had this snowstorm came through, and it was just like, you know, I forget how many inches of snow. We was off school for like a month. But anyhow, the manager of the store lived just 2 doors down from me. And so we dug and dug and dug, finally got him dug out. Me and him and his wife and a little boy, we head to Marshfield to open the store. Back then, all of our snow shovels and all that kind of stuff was out on the sidewalk.
Right.
You know,
Right.
It wasn't in the store because, you know, it was a small store. We got there finally after a couple hours, and there was no snow shovels. No shovels whatsoever.
They must have been free that day.
Yeah, well, what was so funny, though, we, by the end of the day, had accounted for pretty much every snow shovel. People would come back and say, "Hey, we come by, you wasn't open. We went ahead and got one. We're coming back to pay for it."
Yeah.
That is something to me that's just really unusual that that don't happen very often. But the people down there around Marshfield were so honest about it. They came back and paid us for those snow shovels.
Yeah. You know though, Mark, I think people mostly are honest.
Oh, I do too.
I really do. I think
yeah.
there's just a few bad apples, that
Sure.
spoil the bunch. But, we've been in business for 30 some years, and we run across all kinds of people and everything. And for the most part, very, very few people we've run into has been dishonest. That's why our Smile Plan works so well. You know,
Sure.
people, if we would have asked some business professional if we should do that, they would go, absolutely not. We didn't ask anyone. We just felt like that was the right thing to do. And we've done it for many, many years now. And last time I tallied it up, I think we've financed almost $300,000
Wow.
with the Smile Plan and have never been stung.
Wow.
Never
that's
been
great.
stung, not one time. So, but I think it's the way you treat people as well. You know, a
has a lot
small
to do with it.
hometown store, you know the people there. Maybe you've lived there many, many years,
Yeah.
and they're your friends and your neighbors. And so that's just the way it is. And, you know, I remember, like I said, I was born and raised in Mansfield. And I remember my mom telling me there was a little restaurant down there. And she worked in the shoe factory for lots of years. And once in a while, they would go there for lunch or whatever. Well, they had something going on, and I don't remember what it was now. But anyway, there was a lot of people in town, and the restaurant was really, really busy. And I think they only had maybe one waitress or something. So instead of holding up the line and the tables and all that, a lot of the people who lived there and worked there had lunch, went back to work so that they could get the people that were in town for whatever was going on fed and everything, and then they came back the next day and they all paid their bill.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Small towns are just cool for things
They
like
are.
that. You know, it's just fun, and that's why it's so much fun to do business with local shops, because
Yeah.
it's just, you know, there's just a trust factor there, and there's just an honesty there that's just refreshing, I think.
Oh, I agree.
So, yeah.
I agree. You know, pretty much about every morning during the week, and especially on Fridays, all of us guys meet down here at Hardee's. We call it the coffee shop. And, you know, we'll talk about, everybody's got a different story of how businesses used to be here in the Springfield area. What, you know, we'll have these discussions all the time. Well, what used to be here and what used to be there? And it seems like everybody's got a story of how they did business with local people. And that's just so neat, you know. And but one thing that I love about Springfield, Missouri is we are a big city, but we're still a small town, and we still have a lot of
We
good
do.
small town businesses.
We do.
A lot of great business people, and it is a pleasure doing business with them.
Yeah, it is.
And you know, yeah, we have our big box stores, you know, and our Walmarts and all that. But you know, I remember, to me, when Walmart was almost a local store, you know.
Yeah.
But no, we still have so many. And you know, to promote these folks and you know, having people to go do business with them, it's a joy. I like that.
I do too, and I'd like to go into. First of all, you get better service, or it seems to me like you get better service. They're very friendly. Anytime I've been into a local business, the people are very friendly there. They seem to really know their product. I can't tell you how many times I've walked into a big box store looking for something. And they point like it's 6 aisles down and 4, and I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. I could have wandered around the store and found it myself.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm with you. I really enjoy supporting local businesses and things like that. So.
Yep, I think it's very important. If you'd like to give us a call, 862-9977 or 1-800-375-0056. If you are a Verizon customer, star 56, or send us a text at 417-838-3192, and we'll read your question on the air.
We will, and try to give you an intelligent answer.
That's right. We'll try.
If not, we'll try and research it and have an intelligent answer next time.
You know, I had a text last week about the insulation.
Yes.
And I have started doing a little research, and the person who texted me, I did talk to him, and he was telling me it was fiberglass versus cellulose.
Yes, I remember.
And which one was better, and he did some research on his own also, and he ended up having cellulose blown in. And so I started investigating this just a little bit, because the word I'm getting now is cellulose is better to use. It don't compact like fiberglass does in your attic. And so anyhow, I just want to let folks know I'm still
in my attic.
Yeah, you know, and so I'm doing a little more checking of that. I'm going to try to get a hold of our insulation people that we use on our new houses and talk to them and get their opinion on it. So I thought that was kind of interesting, you know, because and they're almost the same price. I mean, it doesn't vary very much. And so I'll get more information on that as we go on.
Mark,
too.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Is cellulose made out of recycled material?
Yes, it is.
So that's another
Yes.
plus right there.
Sure.
You're not building something new, you're recycling something that's
Recycling.
already been used.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
It is recycled. Yeah, that's correct.
And so I'll find out more about that as we go on.
Okay.
So
But that's like things change over time. I mean, at some point this product is really good, but then they come up with something new that might be better.
Sure.
So if you're in the building industry like Mark and I, it's almost a chore to keep up with everything all the time. There's so much new stuff coming out. Some of it's good, some of it's not. So you have to kind
Right.
of weed through all that and
Sure.
figure out, what's a good product and kind of what's a fly by night kind of thing. But insulation is one thing that has changed quite a bit.
yeah.
But so has the way we build houses.
Oh, absolutely.
We do these really airtight houses now. We do there's all kinds of different things you can put in houses. So all of that is a factor when you're making decisions to do that type of thing.
Right.
So it's smart to research. The thing that I find when, and I use the internet somewhat to do research on different things, but you can find just about whatever answer you want to find on the internet about anything. So you have to really be careful and pick and choose and make sure the information you're getting is good.
Sure.
And sometimes what we find is we have clients that will research something, but then they will, especially when it comes to heating and air, whatever, you can just find everything in the world. But then they'll call us and say, what about this? What about that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? Which I think is a great idea. Kind of figure out what you want, but then find a professional in that field to kind of make sure you're being guided in the right direction.
Absolutely.
So, and insulation is just one of the things that's changed.
Yeah.
It used to be just insulation was just insulation. It was all the batted stuff or whatever, and I hated that stuff. It's
Oh,
itchy.
yeah. Oh,
That stuff is
gosh,
horrible.
yes. Yeah.
And I remember when we first started heating and air, and Paul had to crawl around in attics and stuff. Oh my goodness, that was up there, and it just eat you up.
Oh, I know
It was horrible stuff.
I know. Oh,
Miserable.
Yep, for sure. Well, one thing that has helped us on our construction is our good friend Jeremy that does the
Energy Wise. Oh, yeah.
He met with our framers on the job and said, okay, guys, this is things that you can do to make your construction more energy efficient. The way that we tee the walls, the interior walls into the exterior walls,
Right.
the way we do that so we can get insulation behind them. And, we go through and we foam all of our, every opening and everything,
Yeah.
the plates and plumb up, to the roof. We foam it, all the cracks and everything to make sure that you don't get any air infiltration. And like I say, Jeremy has helped us build a better house. And it's just been the education.
Yeah, he is very, very good at what he does.
Yeah.
We work with him a lot on different things too, and he's very knowledgeable on different things. He's got all kinds of ratings and stuff. He constantly is going to classes
Yeah.
and working with the EPA and lots of different and the energy people or
Sure.
whatever all those
Yeah.
initials are, and he's a really good source for making sure you're on the right track for
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I got a question for you. I've always wondered this. When we talk about, say, the new furnaces, 96% efficient, or does that mean that there's 96% of what that furnace is doing is actually heating your house?
That
the
is
other
correct.
4% is
That is absolutely
going
correct.
out the
Yep.
vent.
That's correct.
So,
That is correct.
So the old furnaces, it was just 70% or 80% efficient. That's not really very efficient.
Or less.
Or less, yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are a lot less efficient than that even.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that is correct. The efficiency number, whether it's 80%, 90%, whatever that number is, that's the percentage of heat that is put back into your home, and the difference between that and 100 is what is lost up through the flue or the chimney or whatever. And the 96% furnaces are all vented out with PVC pipe. So if you have a smaller, used to we have 8-inch flues or 10-inch flues and double wall and all this stuff, and so you would lose quite a bit of your heat out up through the flue. Well, with these high efficiency furnaces like that, it's PVC. It's either 2 or 3-inch PVC pipe, which is a lot smaller opening. So obviously not as much air goes through like it did the bigger pipes and stuff, and they're just way more efficient. And they run better. They keep you warmer. It's just they're just a much better piece of equipment than they were even 10 or 15 years ago.
Right. How in the world did people survive back in the day when they had a wood stove or a fireplace, which is not very efficient at all?
Oh no, they're not.
And the old houses had virtually no insulation in the walls.
No.
And
the curtains would blow.
Yeah, the curtains would move when the wind.
When the wind blew.
I guess you just it's just the way it was.
It's just the way it was. Yeah.
And but it's amazing how far that we've come in the last 50, 60 years.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when I met my husband, his parents were dairy farmers in Seymour, and they had an old 2-story farmhouse and stuff, and they heated with a wood stove and everything. And I remember that, first of all, you don't have evenly distributed heat at all. The room that the wood stove was in was always really toasty, and then the rooms kind of adjoining it were okay, and then upstairs was like a refrigerator, but the kids' bedrooms, everything were upstairs, and so they slept up there and bundled up or whatever. But yeah, and it's a lot of work. You got to cut and split wood. You got to haul the ashes out. For me, a fireplace is great. I love mine and it's fun, but mine is just for fun. It's not for keeping me warm or, to keep me comfortable. But I know that's just the way it was. I remember my aunt, even back farther than that, lived in her old farmhouse, and she had one of those iron potbelly kind of stove things. And the whole outside of that thing would get hot. And I remember her telling us as kids, don't get near that, you'll get burnt. You're going to get burnt, So I guess as kids, if you touched it once, you didn't touch it twice, I'm assuming. But, things were it's so much different now, and we really have it a lot more easy, I think, sometimes,
Sure.
And we go home and if you're cold, you jack the thermostat up, or if you're hot, you turn it down, and it's just very simple to do.
Very simple.
And you don't have to rearrange the wood and haul out the ashes and all that kind of stuff. But
makes it nice. Hey, something that I do want to bring up, and this happened to me this week. If you have a digital thermostat, especially one of the programmables, be sure and check those batteries. I got a call on a house out in Republic a couple days ago, and the bank had foreclosed on this house, and so they called me to make sure it was winterized and everything.
Right.
And the gas meter had been pulled, so the gas company called me, wanted me to meet them out there so we could get that furnace back up and going. So we did, and just as I was getting ready to leave that house, I checked it, like that, bam, the batteries went. If I hadn't have been there, why then, we would have major problems with weather like this.
Yes, you would.
So be sure and check those batteries. A lot of people that they don't think about it. Our new technology on thermostats and stuff, they do have the batteries in them. It's not like the old Honeywells and stuff that just, you just turn the dial.
Yeah.
And so be sure and check those, because, in the middle of the night and it's 4 below, you don't want the batteries
and the batteries go dead.
Yeah.
No, that's not pleasant. You wake up and it's cold, and then, and like you said, in that situation, you don't even think, oh, I wonder if the batteries are bad.
Exactly.
So, good point. Yeah.
Just replace them.
Because we do get those calls every year where someone's like, everything was fine and now nothing works.
Yeah.
And, and so a lot of times we'll ask them, what kind of thermostat do you have? Did you check the batteries?
Yeah.
And quite often that is the issue. You put the batteries in, the unit comes back on, and everything's fine. So, but that's John. I think they're AA's.
Yeah, in this one it was.
Yeah, I think
was
they're AA
AA's.
batteries.
Took 2 AA's. So,
yeah.
So I had to run to the store and get batteries
and
come back.
You don't carry AA's in your pocket?
Yeah, no. and honestly, I thought I had some in my truck, but I didn't. And so just check those batteries. Just replace them.
Yeah.
No more expensive than they are. Just replace them.
Yeah, that's true. And then you don't have any issues, like you said, in the middle of the night when it's cold. And
Yep. There you go.
Yeah.
So
especially this time of weather, you don't want something to freeze up. I don't know how fast something would freeze up.
I don't know.
It's cold. I don't know.
A house will stay fairly warm. And it's going to depend too. You want to check your foundation vents, and now it's time to make sure they're closed, and to keep the air from coming under there. Hopefully, there's not a water line close to a vent where it will freeze.
Right.
But I'd say the next night or so, and it gets down as cold as what we're supposed to have, like tonight. There's a good chance that there'll be some frozen pipes around.
Yeah, I'm sure there will. The plumbers are probably going to be super busy.
Yep, I'd say so.
Happens every year.
Yep, that's right. Well, we got our good friend Gloria holding on. Go ahead, Gloria.
Hello, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
My furnace is running. The new one you installed, Mary.
Good.
My furnace and air conditioner, but my furnace is running. But anyway, I want to ask you a question. And I've got a great crawl space, they tell me, anybody who's been down there. Would it be to my advantage to insulate my heat work, my duct work down there?
We do that. If you've got metal ductwork, and I'm sure you do, most people do under there. If we insulate that will help keep some of the heat from dissipating out through your ductwork.
So, okay, on that, what's the best? To spray it in there, or to wrap it in insulation?
If you want to just do your ductwork, then we would come out and actually wrap your ductwork for you. We do that for a lot of folks. It does make quite a bit of difference in your heating situation. So if that's something that you're interested in doing, Gloria, you could call and visit with Nathan about that. He's real familiar with your home.
Yeah.
And
and I'll tell you what, my bill last month was $147.
Uh-huh.
That's good.
Yeah.
I got 2,500 square foot.
Right.
And the other thing I was wondering, do you think I should put in a gas log? I would just burn it just for the prettiness, because my home is very cozy. As a matter of fact, I keep my temperature at 66. I can't have it up any more than that because it'd be too hot.
Yeah. That's something that we just tell people, if that's something you enjoy and you want to do that, absolutely. I like I said, my fireplace is actually, when we bought our cabin, was actually a wood burning, and that's what they use for heat. Well, obviously, we weren't going to use that for heat. So we put an insert in. Basically, we put the insert in because of all the drafting that was coming down, and it kind of sealed that off. And I just burn a fire for fun because I like them.
Well, if I put a gas log in, I'd get the ventless.
Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And there's only one place I know, because some of these you buy, they will let off carbon monoxide. I know that for a fact.
We had a ventless one time, and I really enjoyed it too. And we just used it for fun, like you're talking about. So.
And I want to say one more thing, if I got enough time. I really enjoyed you guys talking about the wood. See, we had wooden coal stoves the whole time I was growing up at home.
Oh yeah.
And an outhouse.
Oh yeah, I remember those too.
I loved going to school. We had indoor toilets.
There you go.
Okay.
Thanks, Gloria.
Thanks, Gloria. What do they always say about the outhouse? 100 yards too far in the winter and 100 yards too near in the summer.
Yeah. Yeah, there wasn't anything good about those things that I know of.
No, the old good old Sears and Roebuck catalog. Well, what are you doing this weekend?
I hope I can get home.
Yeah, I do too. So, well, be careful, Mary.
Well, you too, and I hope our listeners are out there being careful today too.
Absolutely. Well, this is Home Repairs and Solutions. We're heard every Friday morning from 10 to 11 right here on AM 560 KWTO.